When looking back at what we have accomplished as humans and animals, we have come a long way. From aquatic animals taking their first steps on land, to humans beginning their journey from ape-like ancestors to who we are today. For such evolutions to happen, hundreds of millions of years took place, which is why most people tend to think that evolution takes place throughout such a long time span. However, that is not always the case. In fact, if you look around you, you might notice that evolution might have taken place throughout your lifetime as well without you realizing it. This high-speed evolution, known as evolutionary rescue, is how some species respond during severe population stress. Here are 4 examples of animals that evolve at hyperspeed. To begin with, during the Mozambique Civil War between the 1977 and 1992, elephants were poached in large numbers by both the parties. Ivory, considered to be extremely valuable, was the reason why poachers made all of those killings, so that they could obtain their tusks in order to finance their vicious conflicts and obtain meat while doing so. Because of this, around 90% of the elephants' population in Mozambique was slaughtered. Prior to the war, there were only about 18.5% of female elephants who were tuskless. However, research has found out that the percentage has rose to up to about 33% since the early 1990s, which led many researchers wonder why that was. During their hunt, poachers used to leave alone tuskless elephants. This was found out to be the reason behind the increased likelihood that the elephants would also breed and pass on the trait responsible for tusklessness to their offsprings. This can be seen clearly today in places such as the Addo Elephant Park in South Africa, where around 98% of the female elephants do not develop tusks. This finding itself was incredible, but the amazing thing about this whole evolution was the rate at which this development took place, since it all happened throughout the period of only a couple of generations. Commercial fishing has been responsible for catching tons of fish by now, and the bigger sized ones are the majority being caught. Recently, research has found out that fish like salmon and cod, which have been catching the eyes of many humans for a long time, have undergone some major developments. Nowadays, the adult fish of the species are about 20% smaller than they used to be and die at about 75% of their usual lifetime. In particular, after the excessive harvesting during the 1920s, Chinook salmon got roughly around 25% smaller, with only about 30 to 40 years. It was found out that the reason behind this was because such species have evolved quickly in order to avoid extinction, since harvesting of smaller fish is less likely. Next up is about the cliff swallow. Just as the name suggests, cliff swallow used to build their nest on cliffs. However, nowadays we find lots of them nesting on bridge supports as the population of the cliff swallows has increased. Nesting near bridges have, however, brought a bigger risk to their lives: traffic. In order to adapt to this, cliff swallows have adapted smaller wings, which helps them be more maneuverable during flights, which in turn help them evade the risk of getting killed by cars. In fact, statistics have shown that since 1980s that the road-killed swallows number has declined, even though there is more birds nesting around roads. The ones that have been found out dead by oncoming traffic displayed around 5% longer wings compared to the others. Also, in 1996, around half of the cliff swallows population being studied died by starvation during a cold snap. The main reason behind this was that the freezing temperatures were responsible in killing a lot of insects eaten by cliff swallows. It was noticed though that the swallows that survived had shorter wing lengths, and probably because of their advantage over the others, they were able to catch the few insects that weren't freezed. What made the discovery impressive was the fact that the wing length change has also happened throughout the lifespan of less than 3 decades. Thanks to us humans, climate change has forced a lot of changes to the lives of the poor animals. One such case is the tornioles, which lives in Finland. The grey owls were traditionally favored by the cold white winters, which helped them blend in to avoid predators. However, as the winters have been becoming more mild over the past 50 years, researchers have found out that there is a clear decline in the grey owls. On the other hand, these owls have adapted into becoming more of the brown owls, which have been better suited into blending to bare brown branches that the forest encompasses. This further means that more brown owls surviving would also cause more brown genes being passed to their siblings. This brings it to the end of the video. Thank you all for watching, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. See you all next week.